This is State Representative Jeffrey Elmore with your weekly session update for April 29th. As always, it's very, very busy at the General Assembly each week, and we had lots of bills filed this week, also lots of movement on different bills, and I'm just going to highlight some that I think that Wilkes and Alexander County would have interest in. But before I get started on that, I ask that you pray for the folks in Watauga County, our Watauga County law enforcement, our Ash law enforcement, even our Wilkes law enforcement, as they have dealt and continue to deal with the aftermath of the active shooter situation that was in Watauga. Very, very sad situation, and I think one of the best ways that we as citizens and God-fearing people is to pray for these folks and the families affected at this time. So on Monday, Roy Cooper, our governor, gave the State of the State speech. This happens every 2 years. This was actually his third one. And he had very generalized remarks, very broad initiatives, nothing super specific, just talked about coming out of the COVID-19 situation and how well the state is currently doing. So that happened on Monday night. And some bills that were filed this week that I thought were interesting, and this one was voted through. HB 307 was the time zone, basically dealing with time change and sticking with either daylight savings time or standard time. And this has been a big discussion, according to the bill sponsor, Representative Sane, with all of the southern states, that many of the southern states, Georgia, Florida, have similar bills flowing through to basically keep it at daylight savings time all year round because of all of the effects that are on people when sleeping patterns, etc., when the time changes. I thought that was a very interesting bill. It had a caveat in it. Basically, the bill states that North Carolina would support this if action is taken by Congress. But we all know, I mean, I hate to say it, Washington's pretty much broken, so the old saying it would take an act of Congress to get this done, pretty much that's what this bill says. It would take an act of Congress to get this done, but we wanted to show support for that. It passed the House 98-17, and it's moved to the Senate. Another bill that passed was the Kelsey Smith Act, and this deals with the idea of being able to access folks' digital iPhones or their mobile devices in a missing person situation. Right now there's some legal concern dealing with privacy with that, and that it could be considered a unlawful warrant, that type of thing. What this clarifies is that if a missing person is out there, that law enforcement can access their digital device to try to find them. So that has been filed and I believe has passed. HB 558 is prohibiting mandatory COVID-19 vaccinations. What this would do is make it unlawful to mandate vaccination, and also it makes it illegal to require proof. The common term that's being used on digital media, etc. now is the vaccine passports. Basically what this does, it bans them. So we cannot move in that type direction where there would be a requirement that you show your vaccine card to be able to enter a business or go on a cruise, something of that nature in the state of North Carolina. So that formalizes that, and that bill is going to be in health next week. This was a good one that I think really affects our area. A problem that we have in our area is recruitment with volunteer fire departments. A lot of our firemen are older and they're aging out, and it's been difficult to get new recruits on board. So what this is HB 661, and what it would do is it would clarify that a qualifying youth 15 years of age and older may enroll in courses in fire training at the community colleges. Currently, they can enroll in fire training courses at age 16, take the courses, and then officially get their certification at age 18, where they would be allowed to go out in the field. But with our Career and College Promise and other programs that are across the state, we moved this down to 15. because we found that 15-year-olds, that's when they're really making the decisions about what type of courses they want to take. So we think this will really help with our pipeline issues that we're having with the rural volunteer fire department. So I think real positive for our area. A couple of bills that I dealt with this week. Replace the EOC with the national assessment. This is another testing reduction bill. I've worked really hard on the reduction of standardized testing, and what this will do is that it will require that the EOC phase out by year 23-24, and that we only use the national test, which is the ACT, for the examination at the high school level. So the students would be going from taking 5 tests currently to taking 1. So I think it's a very positive move. It moves it in that direction, directs DPI to do some clerical things and some communication with the federal government to see if we do that. Also what it does, it eliminates a test called Work Keys, which is a career readiness test, which basically deals with foundational skills. But what we found from the business community and what their complaints are many of their employees, especially the folks that are choosing to come out of high school directly into the workforce, they lack specific skill sets, that they're looking for skill sets that fit their type of business. So it eliminates this foundational test to where we move more to a credentialing process, where the student would earn credentials at the high school level, that they develop those specific skill sets in the areas that they want to go towards. And it directs DPI to develop that plan in the 2-year period. So very excited to continue to do testing reduction, because standardized testing does not help kids. But proper training, developing skills does help kids. So I think that's a positive move. That passed the House 77-39, so it did pass with bipartisan support from both sides of the aisle. Also, a bill that's still moving through the process that I'm dealing with is Teacher Licensure and Retired Education Program. We are trying to clarify something called the residential license. This has been a tool that we've used for out-of-state teachers and also teachers that are doing good at their job, but they may not have passed one of these standardized tests to get their teaching license, that this would give the ability for the local level to make that decision on keeping that employee. The second part of the bill deals with a program that we started a couple of years ago, started by Senator Rick Horner, that deals with bringing retired folks back to try to fill in high-need areas. And what this part will do is add some classifications to that: school psychologists, school audiologists, and another category that we're having problems filling. It would allow those retirees to come back, and it's not considered, you've probably heard the term double dipping before, that it's not considered that. So that's a positive thing. The work on the budget is still in preliminary stages. We're continuing to work. I'm working internally in my office on several issues on the education front, and we will be dealing with the next round of COVID money in the next couple of weeks. Thank you for listening to the update, and I hope that you have a wonderful weekend.